Hey everyone, thanks for joining in today on TapRooT TV. I'm Emily Pritt and I'm here with Mark Paradise, and we're going to tell you about the must-see keynote speakers that we have in store for the 2022 Global TapRooT Summit.
Boy, you got all that in right away. It's just like one big mouthful.
So we've got 5 of them that we need to talk about.
First speaker, we'll do them in order what they're going to speak.
Okay.
And the first speaker is Inky Johnson. What did you think of Inky?
Inky's awesome. Right. I did not know his story with volunteer UT football. It's kind of not my thing, so I don't.
He came to last year's summit, which was your first summit.
Yes.
And we're going to bring him back to this one because it was so motivating, so powerful.
Yes. There
such
was
a good
not
talk.
a dry eye in the house.
I want to hear him again.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's very motivating, and what I loved about him, and different speech coming up, but what I loved was he could tell his story and switch it to then talking to you directly and giving you where it was like, is he talking to me? But and I felt like it was so personal when he gave information about himself, but then also here's why we can't do this. Here's why we got to keep going. Loved it. Absolutely.
I think he was great. Mm-hmm. Okay, second one I probably know more about because I've seen him talk before. It's Ken Futch. And what can you say about a guy who accidentally shot himself in the head? It is an amazing talk. You have to be there. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder by telling you about it, but it'll be. You can't think it'll be a fun story when somebody shoots themselves in the head, but it's a fun story, and it also, you will learn from it. It's an amazing thing. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
We've got another one here.
Claus.
Yes.
Claus Rose.
I'm not as informed on what he does. I do know
he's a VP at GE, and is leading an implementation of TapRooT there. And we'll share information about what senior management wants out of root cause analysis.
Insightful.
And provide you with a senior management insight into that. And I think that's really important. And
our summit is spanning 3 days. So the first 2 people we talked about, Inky and Ken Futch, are on Wednesday, and then Klaus is going to begin on Thursday.
He's a kickoff speaker on Thursday. And at the end of it, we've
got 2 military folks. We're talking about
the end of Thursday, though.
Thursday is Joseph Aucoin.
Right.
Yes.
He was the head of the 7th Fleet when they had the USS McCain and the USS, it's the John S. McCain, and what was the other one? I can't remember it right now. It's the other ship that collided over in the Straits of Malacca. And both ships, they basically blamed the CO, blamed some of the crew, and fired the COs. And actually we're going to put them through a military discipline process that could end up in prison time for the commanding officers of those ships. And also, the 7th Fleet Vice Admiral got fired over this as well. And I think it's an amazingly interesting story of blame-oriented investigations. And who better than somebody who was involved in all this to share their story, and you can learn lessons that you don't want to do from the story of what happened to the people who were, and there were fatalities on both ships, both times. So it was very serious incidents. And I think one of the keys is there's so much to learn, to be able to learn from a serious incident and make sure it never happens again. Because obviously they didn't learn from the first one. The second one happened again. Now, they haven't had another big accident since then, but you might ask the question, is that luck, or is that they really did something? So all these things will be interesting to hear from his talk.
His bio has the USS Theodore Roosevelt and Kitty Hawk, and my grandfather was on USS Kitty Hawk, so I'm interested to just kind of hear that, because I have family in military, and so I think it's going to be neat to hear the story and get all that insight and motivation.
Yep.
All of these speakers are motivating.
And I've talked to him, and he has got a really interesting story to tell.
Very nice. And then lastly, we have a wonderful and inspiring story with Kirstie Ennis. Okay? And so Kirstie, she was as I understand, one of the pilots of a Black Hawk, some type of helicopter that got shot down, and she was medically discharged because of her injuries.
She lost a leg.
Yeah.
That's a serious injury.
Well, getting to that is now she treks and climbs, and I mean she
Climbs mountains.
Yes.
What is that? Something like the seven continents with the 7 highest mountains or whatever it is, something like that. Yeah. And she's ticking off, and I think last year Everest was when she ticked off. So she, and imagine it's hard enough climbing one of these, but to climb it with one leg and a prosthetic, that's pretty amazing.
And it just puts in perspective, when we have these, you get a bad day at work, and maybe you just feel like, maybe did I make the wrong decision? Did I do this? Did I do that? And then you have this woman who, with everything that she...
Overcome.
Yes, overcomer for sure.
Overcome challenges and make things happen.
Yeah, adapt,
overcome. And what do people at the summit need to do? Overcome challenges and make things happen.
And be motivated to just get it done. Yes.
Yep. So it really is an applicable story, I think. See, all these people, you might think, well, I'm not a UT football player. I'm not going to shoot myself in the head. I don't work for GE. No. I'm not an admiral in the Navy, 7th Fleet. Yeah. I'm not a helicopter pilot who's going to lose my leg. How can any of this apply to me? It all will apply to you. It's amazing.
Yes, I love it. So we've got an all-star lineup for the 2022 Global TapRooT Summit. These keynote speakers are going to just, bring the house down.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I'm excited about every single one of them.
I can hardly wait. Come on, 2022.
Right?
That's it.
So with that, on our keynote speakers, is there anything else that we want to let our audience know?
Well, I think one other thing is, you might have been to a conference with 1,000 or 2,000 people, and there's no way you're ever going to talk to that keynote speaker.
Yeah,
the size of our summit, you can go up and talk one-on-one with these people and get even more information, more learning, more motivation than you did just during their talk and having a one-on-one talk with them.
Yeah.
And I know I have, and I know people who are at the summit do that, and it really is valuable.
Yes, it becomes very personal. And you can't do that at a lot of conferences.
No.
And the keynote speakers that we have are just very friendly, very down to earth. Last year there were people taking selfies and getting photos, and and then when we had kind of after hours, we want to get together and do some late night networking. They were also there to talk and socialize and just kind of get to know people, and they're people just like me and you.
They're down to earth.
Yes, they are, and I love that. That's really cool for them to just, let you pick their brain.
Yes.
So, awesome.
All right.
That's it. That's all we got for our 5 keynote speakers must see.
We will see you at the summit.
See you guys.